Lamar Jackson, who is, by the way, the very tail end of Ozzie Newsome's legacy as the general manager of the Baltimore Ravens in his final draft that he controlled. He trades up into the first round and selects Lamar Jackson with the last pick of that first round and leaves him, bequeaths him to the Ravens as he walks out the door as the general manager and hands things off to Eric DeCosta, who has done nothing but great things to build around Lamar Jackson, including this year, for them to make decisions at offensive coordinator and obviously at wide receiver, to get Odell Beckham Jr., to draft Zay Flowers for him, to do everything that they need to do to water and fertilize, to use a phrase from up the road, Lamar Jackson, who is the unanimous MVP in 2019, joining Tom Brady is the only other unanimous MVP of the National Football League. And now, what can he do? Winning this game, taking the Ravens back to the Super Bowl in the first game that the Ravens have ever hosted for the right to go to the Super Bowl. The last championship game hosted in Baltimore happened in 1971 when the Colts hosted John Madden's Raiders in the AFC Championship game in the old Memorial Stadium, leading to a Super Bowl V win by Johnny Unitas. Interesting I mentioned that name because Lamar Jackson would become the 10th quarterback and 11th player to win multiple MVP awards if he gets what we're expecting him to get the Thursday before the Super Bowl. Can you imagine he steps out on the field as such? Because the Thursday before the Super Bowl is when we're going to hear this announcement. He would join the following players in that category: Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Jim Brown, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, the aforementioned Unitas, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana, Kurt Warner, and Steve Young. Now, you might be sitting there saying, Rich, that's the MVP. What do you mean about going to the Super Bowl? Well, how about this? You need to win it to join this list in full, because every single person I mentioned won a championship in their careers. That's what the legacy's at stake for Lamar Jackson. Mr. Not quarterbacky enough, hoisting the Lombardi Trophy for Baltimore.
Hey, why don't you go work out with the wide receivers?
You know what I'm saying? How about that for spiking the football on all those folks? Legacy for Lamar. And then the motherlode. Because, boy, do I have paperwork on this subject matter. Patrick Mahomes. Nobody's talking legacy for him because he's already got the legacy. He's already got these yachts that he's water skiing behind. He's already won 2 Super Bowls. He's already gotten now a 6th consecutive AFC Championship game appearance. He's already been to 3 Super Bowls. Yada, yada, yada. Except in sports, we don't talk about, well, you're not going for legacy because you've already built a pretty damn good one. Sports is all about the Gordon Gekko mentality of greed, for the lack of a better word, is good. You've got to be greedy. And Mahomes looks like the greediest you-know-what on the street. Ask the folks in Buffalo how greedy he looked last Sunday when he got his 13th career playoff win. 28 years old, okay? 6 full years as a starter. 7 seasons since he's been drafted. Already has 13 playoff wins. If he wins and makes the Super Bowl, he will have as many playoff wins as Peyton Manning, John Elway, and Terry Bradshaw in their careers. And then if he wins the Super Bowl, he would surpass those 3 and be one behind Joe Montana for his career. If he throws 3 touchdown passes in the AFC Championship game, he would surpass Peyton Manning for most playoff touchdown passes of his career with 41. He'd be top 5 with 3 touchdowns in this game, and if he wins it, all he needs is 3 in this game and then the Super Bowl. He would pass Peyton Manning in that regard. And then, if he wins the Super Bowl, he would be a repeat champion Just the 9th time that's ever happened in the history of the Super Bowl. And we haven't seen it since 2003, 2004 when Brady did it. That's the longest drought in NFL history. Who would be the one to end it? Oh, a guy that's got nothing to build on with his legacy. And then if he does it, just to get to the Super Bowl, just to get there, Andy Reid and Mahomes can become the 7th head coach and starting quarterback duo to repeat Super Bowl champions if they do it, joining Belichick and Brady, Jimmy and Troy, Shanahan and Elway, Noel and Bradshaw, Shula and Greasy, Lombardi and Starr. He'd put himself in the Reid and Mahomes, if they win the Super Bowl this year, would put themselves in the same breath as Lombardi and Starr. And then in terms of winning the Super Bowl, Reid and Mahomes could become the 4th head coach quarterback to duo to win 3 or more Super Bowls together. Who are the others? Belichick and Brady, Noel and Bradshaw, Walsh and Montana. I mean, we need an oxygen tank. It's getting so high up in the rarefied air I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about, hey, Purdy could, surpass Brad Johnson. All due respect. This is at stake for Mahomes in terms of legacy. So, wanted to start the show that way and put it all out there. My God, I love this sport. And I just love the history of it, and I love what people are thinking about all 4 of these guys and what it means to the fans. If I'm right about this, they're one. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.